Welcome back to the Racing Post Weekend Postcast. Bruce Millington, Henry Hardwick and Mark Langdon looking ahead to two live matches on Sunday and one on Monday. The first of them takes place at 2:15. Why is it 2:15, Mark?
Yeah, I've absolutely no idea.
Normally 1:30 and 4:30, but it's
I don't know if it. I mean, I'm snookered on that one.
Okay, fair enough. It's not often I manage to ask Mark a question about football that he doesn't know. But anyway, 2:15, Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Paddy Power make Palace evens. The draw is 23-10 and it's 11-4 Newcastle. Henry, what's going to happen here?
Yeah, I thought evens Palace was fair enough. They've got quite a lot of attacking talent there. They've got Zaha and Townsend that cause problems. I know Benteke, hasn't really done it, but he's back to scoring form against West Ham in midweek. He should really score goals. He's got plenty of good service going in there. Newcastle have scored just 4 goals in the last 6 Premier League matches. Obviously, they're hoping on Kennedy and Slimani coming in, making a difference, as we already discussed. But I don't think that they're really going to improve them too much. And I think even Money Palace looks fair enough.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I thought Palace were fair as well. I mean, Slimani's injured, isn't he? So it shows how desperate Newcastle got in the final day of the transfer window. They've loaned a forward that's injured at the moment and can't play against Leicester. So, I think they're talking about him only playing 10 games. I think he'll make a difference for them, but the fact he can't play in this one, Palace have got a lot of quality going forward. And you take out the really bad start they had under Frank de Boer, they're a mid-table team, a comfortable mid-table team at that, and Newcastle are fighting against relegation. Palace looks... you take out home advantage, you're almost saying there's not that much difference between Palace and Newcastle. I'd beg to differ, really.
Lovely, that's very encouraging. 4:30, game of the weekend, Liverpool versus Spurs. This should be an absolute cracker. And it's... Hang on a sec, my wife's trying to call me. Go away. Evens Liverpool, 23-10 Tottenham and 13-5 the draw. Mark, you go first.
Yeah, Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals, around about the sort of 15-8 mark. And Liverpool have won 20 games this season. 19 of those have come with over 2.5 goals. I think you're better off just ignoring them ever to win the game. Just get on this over 2.5. If not often they keep clean sheets, but if they do, they normally rack up a score at the other end. And I just think with Tottenham, they played on the Wednesday. It may have looked easy against Manchester United, but there was a reason why United kept giving the ball away, and that's because Tottenham were working extremely hard. And Liverpool had an absolute stroll up against Huddersfield on Tuesday, and I do think that makes a difference in terms of preparation and sort of the energy levels. And Tottenham away from home to the big teams didn't turn up at Arsenal. Barely created a chance at United, albeit Kane was injured.
He can rotate a bit now, though, can't he, Mark? He can bring in Rose. He's got options at right back. Isn't Alderweireld close again?
Yeah, but I think it's in the key midfield area, that central midfield area, where Dembele, they're a much better team when Dembele's at it and Dyer's alongside him. And, Dembele finds it difficult to play against teams that press him. He's just on the turn, I think. When teams press him, he was absolutely horrendous at Manchester City, as most of them were. It was a really difficult game, but Liverpool probably the one team, if anybody plays like Manchester City do, it's Liverpool. And Tottenham were battered at Anfield last season. They were battered at Manchester City this season and last season when they got the 2-2 draw. They do not like it when teams press them hard, as Arsenal did in the North London derby. Until Tottenham turn up in these big away games, I can't really be trusting them.
Should be some game, though, shouldn't it? Looking forward to this one.
Great.
Henry, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, like you say, I think it's going to be a great game. I think over 3.5 goals is the way to go. If you look at Liverpool's games...
6-4, that is.
Yeah, if you look at Liverpool's games against the bigger sides, they beat City 4-3, they lost to City 5-0, 3-3 draw against Arsenal, beat Arsenal 4-0, and the game against Spurs was 4-1. So the great thing about watching Liverpool is that no matter who they play, their approach isn't going to change. It's going to be an end-to-end game. Both teams play a high-tempo game. But the issue with Liverpool is they can't defend. I don't think signing Van Dijk's going to change that. It's not going to change the way they play.
It's a structure problem, isn't it?
Yeah, one player's not going to change them conceding goals. Spurs showed what they can do against Manchester United. And I just think it's going to be a goal fest, really. Good game, loads of goals.
Spurs should have beaten United by more than 2, shouldn't they?
Oh, really? Yeah, definitely. They were walking through them, weren't they? Son had one that he should have squared to Kane. Kane would have tapped that in.
I think United really struggle with teams that play high tempo against them. Matic and Pogba, obviously the midfield too. for what they're good players, they just haven't got the legs to compete with teams that play like that.
Pogba's not interested in. He's not interested in getting his hands dirty enough to do the two. Is it?
Have you seen the 30-second video of Mourinho telling him where to play, and Pogba telling Mourinho where he wanted to play, basically, and then the video cuts to Pogba being substituted and jogging off. They had a real ding-dong on the sidelines, yeah.
Was Fellaini injured there?
I would
had to be, didn't he? You can't hook someone after 7 minutes.
Fellaini's one of his favourites as well.
Yeah, exactly.
If it would have been sort of a Martial, who I don't think he particularly likes, maybe you'd understand it. He had to be injured.